when Alexander the Great was defeated by the Indian army, focusing on the Battle of the Hydaspes. In the year 326 BC, one of the greatest military commanders in history, Alexander the Great, stood at the edge of a river. Before him, the mighty Indian army, led by the king Porus, waited. For years, Alexander had marched across Asia, defeating armies and conquering empires. His ambition knew no bounds. His army was undefeated, and he believed that nothing could stop him. But here, at the Hydaspes, the might of India awaited. King Porus, ruler of the ancient kingdom of Paurava, was a leader unlike any Alexander had faced before. A man of immense strength and resolve, Porus was ready to defend his kingdom against the invader, despite facing an enemy with war elephants, massive creatures capable of turning the tide of battle. Alexander remained confident. His men, seasoned and loyal, were ready to fight. But the mighty river stood between them and their enemy, and crossing it was no easy task. In a bold move, Alexander chose to cross the Hydaspes River at night, under the cover of darkness. It was a risky gamboliff. The river was too swift. His army would be vulnerable. But Alexander believed in his strategy and his men's resilience. The crossing was grueling, but the Macedonian soldiers pushed through. By dawn, they had crossed the river and were ready to face Porus's army on the other side. Porus, who had anticipated an attack at the river, quickly reorganized his forces, preparing to defend his land. His army included chariots, infantry, and the legendary war elephants that struck fear into anyone who faced them. The Battle of the Hydaspes was about to begin. Alexander's forces, though smaller, were fiercely disciplined and well, but Porus's army had the advantage of both the terrain and the elephants. The battle raged on for hours. Alexander's cavalry maneuvered skillfully, attacking the Indian flanks, while his infantry fought hard against Porus's forces. The war elephants, massive and terrifying, charged through the Macedonian lines, wreaking havoc. But Alexander's greatest strength was his tactical genius. Despite the overwhelming size and strength of the elephants, Alexander's soldiers were able to find their weak points, using their speed and coordination to neutralize the elephants' impact. Porus fought valiantly, refusing to give up. But the tide of battle was shifting. Despite his strength and the might of his army, the Indian forces began to break under the pressure of Alexander's relentless assault. After hours of fierce fighting, King Porus was captured. Alexander, impressed by his bravery, asked him, "How would you like to be treated?" Porus, still proud, replied, "Like a king." True to his word, Alexander treated Porus with great respect. Not only did he return Porus's kingdom to him, but he also formed an alliance, recognizing the king's strength and valor. The Battle of the Hydaspes was a pivotal moment in Alexander's campaign. Despite the fierce resistance, the Indian army was defeated, and Alexander continued his march eastward. But this battle marked the limits of his conquest. Although Alexander emerged victorious, it was here, on the banks of the Hydaspes, that his men, tired and far from home, refused to go any further. They had conquered empires, but the unknown was too great, and the journey too long. The defeat of Porus was a testament to Alexander's genius, but it was also the beginning of the end of his campaign in India. The battle had been won, but at a great cost, and the road ahead would not be easy. History remembers Alexander the Great for his unparalleled conquests, but the Battle of the Hydaspes was a reminder of the strength of those who stood against him, on the power of strategy, bravery, and respect in the face of war. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more incredible stories from history. Until next time, stay curious.